Hi guys, it's Matt with Silderman Solutions. I hope you're having a great day. So today I wanted to talk to you about a little question that was asked. A connection of mine named Rachel was asking how SEO has changed over the past 10 years. And as I thought about it, there are so many things that have changed. And unless you were an SEO expert 10 years ago and you just took 10 years off, then okay, maybe you would want to know every little thing that has changed. For instance, let's say keyword stuffing is going to get you in trouble now, or overly optimized anchor text, let's say, or thin content, or something like that, right? Maybe the meta keywords tag, which is no longer used. In the end, as I thought about the question, what I realized was what she'd rather know is the best practices going forward now. You don't want to focus on what doesn't work. You want to know what works, right? And so I'm going to give you some clues in the right direction. Certainly, I'll also provide some resources for you and some links so that you can do further reading. But if the conversation gets deeper than that, you can always just consult an SEO consultant or expert and just hire them out for a couple hours to kind of help point you in the right direction. So Google has come out and said that their top three ranking factors are links, content, and rank brain. And so let's talk about that a little bit. And before we get into it, I just want to say, and I bet some of my designer friends will love to hear this, that Google's focus is on user experience. Um, if you think about Google's main business, they sell advertising, and now everything, even their ad campaigns, are about Google Home and make Google do it right and have their artificial intelligence assistant do things for us. But the only way that they stay in business and the only way people keep coming back to them is if they provide the best answers the quickest, the best user experience. And so you can jump on that trend, you can jump on that train if you, as a web designer who wants to do well in search engine optimization, if you design your content and create your pages with the users in mind, right? With the best user experience possible. So we'll circle back around to that in a little bit. Let's talk about this, their top three ranking factors. Okay, so links, content, and rank brain. So yes, links used to be the number one signal. Now you can see that they have kind of been devalued because people were always trying to manipulate that. And Google's goal now is once again uh, genuine, that the best content would rank, not just things that can be manipulated by spammers and scammers and all that. Okay, so yes, links are still important. One of the things you want to sort of keep track of is it a link from a relevant site? Is it a link from a site that has a good reputation in Google's mind? Does it have good topical authority for what you're trying to rank for? Because a link from an unrelated site is not very helpful. Okay, content. So way back when, 10 years ago, you had a ton of different pages, and each page targeted one keyword. Now what you have is much bigger content, and you try to answer all the possible questions that a user might have in the same piece of content. So once again, we've talked about creating the best user experience possible. And so not only do you answer the question that they're asking, you try to anticipate through analytics and things like that other questions, related questions that they might have. And so instead of keyword stuffing, you are using related search terms, and you're creating keyword themes to create the best possible user experience. And then rank brain. Now that's a little bit tough to explain, but basically, if I could talk about some characteristics of rank brain, I would say that uh, it's based off of Google's deep machine learning artificial intelligence. And so the goal is for it to change and learn based off of user behavior. So we have a politician now in the United States who's getting in the news a lot. Her name is Alexandra Ocasio or Cortez, excuse me. And that's such a mouthful to say that people are starting to call her AOC. And Google has learned this. Okay, it is adapting based off of our trends and writing and search patterns and those sorts of things. It's also becoming commonplace to see that the keyword that you use in your search may not actually appear in the titles or in the titles of the articles that appear in the first page. And so Google understands user intent. Its goal is to, once again, create the best possible user experience. And based off of them tracking user signals, they believe that these articles are the most relevant for what you're searching. But like I said, you may not actually find the keyword that you used in your search may not even be in the titles of those articles. Okay, so these are three things that are the most important right now. Now, I would say going forward, once again, remember that user experience. And yes, if you're a designer and you have skills in user experience design, that's a good start. You want to then familiarize yourself or pair yourself with an SEO who can then take it a couple steps further and make sure that the page is following Google's guidelines, or that it's easy to be crawled by bots, or that sort of thing. Now, moving forward, the important trends in search have to do with semantic search, which is voice search. As you know, that's where things are going, right? We've talked about user experience being significant. The other thing I would say is there is a discussion, and there are some patents, and it seems like they may be moving in this direction, that Google is moving away from the power of links, because links are easy to manipulate, and moving more towards brand mentions. And Google has been talking a lot recently about sort of brand power and name recognition. And this becomes important if you think about it in terms of all the manipulation we've had recently with, Russian hackers, or manipulating Facebook or other advertising campaigns. All these scamming types of websites and spam types of websites, where people are becoming much more cautious as to where they shop, what websites they go on, because they're worried about having important information stolen. And so security is coming into play. But if you recognize that brand name, people are more likely to then click on that website. And so a lot of times SEO in the past used to maybe be able to stand on its own as a way to make a ton of money. Now, SEO has to be integrated into all of your other marketing channels to build up that brand recognition. And then often, the purchase occurs, on the website, or through SEO, or through advertising, as the case might be. So I hope you found this helpful. I will link to resources as far as like what has actually changed if you're an SEO expert and you just want to, you're just curious to find out. I have a really great article on RankBrain that I'm going to link to as well. And I recommend that you read that. It's pretty fascinating, and it's a well-written article. And I'll link out to this article, this Search Engine Land article, that you can check out for the top 3 ranking factors. All right, guys, I hope that was helpful. Please continue to ask me your questions. I love answering them when I have the time. And all right, have a great day. Take care.